such an excited audience today.
Well, just give us the sign. We can cheer up, can't we, Tara? You might not like it, but
Will you make sure it's like focused
Yeah.
on me? It's good? Okay. Well, I'm sure everyone sitting in this room has had the desire to go out into the wilderness and try to survive with only 5 things. I have come up with 5 things that I think would give me the best chance for survival if I were to go out in the woods and only allowed to bring 5 things. And my 5 things are a canteen water bottle, beef jerky, fishing line, a hammock, and a hunting knife. So I'm going to start with telling you about each thing and why I think that item would benefit me. I'll start with the canteen. This will be an easy way to keep water with me and keep it stored because I don't know how often I'm going to come upon fresh water. So I can stock up using the canteen each time I come upon a water source. Also, water is one of the most important things your body needs to function right. Dina Spector, in an article called How Many Days a Person Can Survive Without Water, states that a person can survive 3 weeks without food but could only survive 3 or 4 days without water. Water is very important to the body. It controls, it regulates a lot of things like your body temperature. It helps your brain function. Like if you get dehydrated, your brain won't function properly, and surviving in the wilderness alone is not something you would want your brain not functioning well. So I think water's pretty much important, the most important thing. But don't get me wrong, I think food is also important. So there comes the beef jerky. Beef jerky is perfect for hiking. It's like the perfect hiking snack. So this is pretty much like a big hiking trip, I would say, but maybe a little more intense than that. In Natalie Stain's article about beef jerky, she says that it is full of protein. A serving of beef jerky has about 13 grams of protein in it, and protein is a very essential nutrient that your body needs. Like you cannot function without protein. So that's why I thought the beef jerky would be good. Also, since beef jerky is a dried meat, it would store really easily, and I wouldn't have to worry about it spoiling while I'm out there because I don't have to refrigerate it or anything. So that is why I picked the beef jerky. Now you're wondering, all right, Ashton, what happens when you eat all of the beef jerky and you're out? That comes my third item, which is fishing line and hooks. And so in an article I read, fish is actually very healthy for your heart. Malia Frey says that fish is full of omega-3s, and eating fish is actually better for you than taking supplements to get the omega-3s. And I've actually read that some raw fish is okay for you to eat if you eat it like as soon as you get it. Because obviously if I'm in the wilderness, I'm not going to have fire or anything unless I learn to build one, with the stick and a rock, which probably won't happen. But I read many stories about people being like adrift at sea, for months on end, and they survived by eating raw fish. So it is doable in a situation like that if I had to. So now that I've talked about eating, one of my favorite activities, let's talk about my other favorite activity, which is sleeping. That's where my hammock comes in handy. I personally have an Eno hammock, and when you buy one of those, it comes with, the website says it comes with the hammock itself, and then it comes with movable straps that you halter it up onto anything that'll support whatever the hammock's gonna hold. So that way, if I had to, I can just up and move camp, and my bed will just go with me. What else is nice about the hammock is it'll fold up to about this size, so it'll be easy to carry around with me instead of like a sleeping bag or something, which is huge even if you have it rolled up. Another nice thing about sleeping in the hammock is it'll hold me up off the ground, so ticks, worms, bugs like that won't be able to necessarily crawl into where I'm sleeping, and also I don't have to worry about snakes, spiders, that kind of thing, because I would hate to wake up and like a snake be right here in my face. So I think the hammock would do me well from that point of view. But you might be wondering, all right, we've taken care of the spiders and the snakes, but what if an actual animal comes at you? And that's where my hunting knife comes in. In an article I read that was called 19 Ways to Use a Knife in a Survival Scenario by a man with the last name Allen. He said that the number one thing with a knife is that you can use it for protection as a weapon. I read where you could tie, I'm going to have the fishing line, right? I could tie the fishing line on the end of the knife, and if I had to, like, whip it around, you know, if something's trying to come at me and it might stab it or whatever. But obviously, I'll just use it for protection. And if it's an animal and I end up killing it, I can also use that for food. So there's that. And if I had the knife and I do catch these fish, it'll help me to prepare the fish for me to eat, and I'll be able to cut the meat out of the fish easier. And I can also use the knife as a fork if I wanted to, so that's an extra little add in there. So those are the 5 things that I think will best help me if I'm ever in this scenario of being out in the wilderness, which I hope I'm not, because I don't think I could handle it. But the 5 things I think will help me the most was the canteen water bottle, the beef jerky, the fishing line, the hammock, and the hunting knife. And so I think that those 5 items would help me the most, and I know you guys all want to go do it now too, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Good job, sister.